Hello everyone, here is a mini screencast covering Dr. Google. I love to call it Dr. Google. Okay, now I want you to think about this. I thought this was a timely, not only a timely article, but it's an interesting article that kind of connects how we look at health information and how we look at it in practice. And I'm going to kind of go through it again like I normally do, but I want you to kind of think about this one and think about how our individual health behavior is in play here. So let's begin. Okay, I'm going to just kind of skim over the abstract, but what I want you to think about is, again, how we look at health literacy. How we go to www.google.com and type in, oh my gosh, I've got a rash on my hand, or I've got a rash on my face, or oh my gosh, how do I, what's the right diet for me? Okay. And so what I want you to think about is, again, going back to how we conceptualize health at any age. Okay. And look at this definition, because there's so many different definitions with regards to how we connect literacy, right? So health literacy is a type of knowledge influenced by explicit and implicit marketing and other campaigns by the public. Oops. I don't know why that's doing that. Okay, so health literacy. Okay, oh, I know what I want to do. Let's go here. There we go. Now, this is interesting, right? Because now we're looking at the information that we get from, the pandemic that we're living in, right? What's the right information? Okay, and other private initiatives, but I want you to think about it in the context of your own advocacy efforts too. Kind of start tying things together, for example. So, health literacy, by definition, is a type of knowledge influenced by explicit and implicit marketing. What does that mean? What type of marketing are we looking at? Okay, we're going to have probably a session with regards to marketing once we get into the advocacy elements of this course, but taking a look at this. Now, when we take a look at that, we're taking a look at how we develop and design campaigns. Okay, and sometimes campaigns designed to promote health habits tend to be framed in a number of ways. And sometimes it's to lose or what else? It's something to lose or something to what else? Is it to gain? More oftentimes it's something to gain, right? So what are we trying to gain? Are we trying to gain influence of policymakers? Are we trying to get our community healthy? Are we trying to get obesity rates down in children who live in food swamps? Okay, so kind of think of it that way. The other thing I want you to kind of think about, and we talked about graphic literacy earlier, the technological advancements enabling digital overload. This is important because we can take the context of graphic literacy and put it into digital literacy, which we'll cover later in the semester, and tie the two together. Graphics, digital, visual, health literacy, they can all provide some semblance of literacy in explicit and implicit messaging, right? So I also think that this is important too. Reframing health literacy as scientifically driven yet socially constructed thus permits focus on the extend beyond biomedical paradigms. Okay, yet socially constructed thus permits focus to extend beyond biomedical paradigms. Shifts, if you will. Okay. The other thing I want you to kind of think about is what do we generally trust? Okay, a range of messages within the articles talk about messages communicated by generally trusted experts. Well, what constitutes an expert? Okay, and sometimes experts are wrong too. So kind of think about it that way. So is it looking at topics that exist to guide individuals on alcohol consumption, physical activity, smoking, and the like? Okay, what are some other messages that you can think of? All right, I'm going to scroll down here. Again, so framing a health message also goes into how you frame an advocacy element. Okay, so the communication element needs to be there. Is everybody's communication perfect? No. But we do hit some individuals. I also thought this is a little statistic that caught my eye. With 5% of the Google searches and 80% of American internet users, are you one of that 80%? Show of hands, pretend, raise your hand. I mean, we've all done it, okay? So what constitutes a good campaign? As you think about an advocacy element or an advocacy topic, think about what you would consider a good communication plan. Who's your audience? That's what you need to take a look at too. Okay, is it policymakers? Is it your community? Is it low-level community? Is it high-level community? What is it about? Okay, I'm going to go down here and hit where it needs the rubber hits the road. Okay, so they do a lot here. Methodology. So they did a survey study, and they asked people to opt in, and they did their due diligence, but their purpose was to explore individuals' health literacy and behaviors in a closed-ended survey. Questions were, here we go. I want you to kind of think about this. What would you substitute? Okay, recommended amounts of smoking. Could it be maybe recommended fruits and vegetables? Could it be maybe decreasing their unhealthy behaviors? You could go on for days, right? Okay, the other thing I want you to take a look at is literacy answer options that they did. This to me, don't know, because of the audience, strikes me as interesting. Okay, literacy answer options also included a don't know. Okay, but they're sending it to university employees. That just kind of struck me as odd. Okay, I'm going to kind of go down here a little bit more and then take a look at the results. Okay, and they're looking at good healthy habits, right? Right, that's figure 2. But again, they broke it down by drinking, alcohol consumption, physical activity, and smoking, and so forth. Let's see here. I'm going to go down here. I want you to pay particular attention to a couple of things. 1, the response information sources. This is a graphic literacy element. Internet 24 to 24, health risk information and health information together. Experts 1713, still numeric representation. But if the numbers weren't there, could you say in good confidence where each one lies? Okay, kind of keep that in mind, because this is a perfect example of a graphic literacy element, as is this one. This one more figure 5 and figure 3 versus probably figure 4. Okay. What I also want you to kind of to look at is, where did it go? Despite growing evidence of health campaign awareness, highly personal motivations drive much internet information seeking behaviors. What do you think of that? Do you find that true? And if so, how would you make sure that folks are getting the right information? Okay. And I think that's where I'm going to end it.